Hi and welcome to My CTO Friend, the place where startup founders learn how to solve technical challenges with unbiased CTO advice. I'm Amaury and today I'm going to answer a question from Fabrice, a startup CEO who has already developed a successful mobile application with a web agency. His question is, we just raised funds. How do we accelerate product development? Before answering this question, let's add a bit of context. Fabrice's business is already going very well. He's playing with acquisition costs and optimizing each action's return on investment. Having raised few hundred thousands, he wants and needs to accelerate product development. You know, being a startup also means doing things quickly, with usually not the same quality as if it were a big corporate company. And that's fine. This also happens because startups build things that don't exist yet. So no one really knows if they are going to work on it before achieving it. So to answer Fabrice's question, let's put an action plan in place, a checklist to accelerate product development. And the first thing to do is analytics. There is a famous quote that says, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. So in order to improve product and develop new features, the most important things to do is to put detailed analytics in place and measure how users behave with your product, how often they come back, at what time, etc., etc. You can even put A/B testing in place to check and improve your product market fit. The second thing to do is to define the product development process. From all the analytics, the founder's ideas, the customer's ideas, basically, where is all that information stored? And above all, how is this information processed? I mean, how can it be converted into a roadmap? And using tools like Jira helps a lot from structuring your roadmap all the way up to specify tasks your developers need to work on. And there are hundreds of other project management tools like Trello, Basecamp, etc. And the tools is not as important as the process you put in place. Another important thing to do in the growth stage is to establish a well-defined quality assurance process. I mean, this is just software testing. And acceleration also means that your team is going to develop more features, which in turn increases the risk of bugs. So again, this is not really a matter of which tool you use, but more about the processes to increase the quality of your product. And when we accelerate, we need more developers, and they might work on the same component. So we also need to define a continuous integration process to enable them to work effectively. And much more than merging the work of several developers, we don't want to see engineers on the growth stage wasting time connecting servers, copying new files or new version of the software, running update manually. We need to make things automatic, since this is something that we will do on a regular basis. And continuous integration also enables good version management, especially with multiple environments like tests, debug, or demonstration environment. And following continuous integration, the most important things to do is to make sure you have a scalable architecture. So you will need to check that your server is strong enough and that your database system is well designed in order to handle millions of users, which also means millions of lines in your database. Maybe you will have to review your solution's architecture and switch from one component to another, like moving from a SQL database system to no SQL database system. I don't want to get too much into tech detail here. It's just a matter of upgrading the components of your existing solution to be stronger and efficient enough to be able to handle a large amount of users. And the last point regarding architecture is the stress tests. It's important to anticipate crashes, and before your product gets promoted on TV or getting high traffic through media, it's good to simulate the targeted amount of users and ensure your system is still working. And now, last but not least, is a data-centric point. Some says data is king. To me, that means that knowing the data in your database is key. It shows what people do on your application, what people like on your application. It enables you to extract trends and take those into considerations, but also to predict users' behaviors thanks to machine learning. And if you are able to predict users' behaviors, it means you are able to fulfill their desires effectively and even selling extra services or solutions to them. And these days, there is a lot of talk on profiling, retargeting, or simply intelligent customers' relationship management. So one of the areas you should consider in the future is definitely data analysis. Start with simple data visualization, just to help you play with data and to move forward one step at a time to real machine learning algorithm to truly learn from your data and your customers. And the final point is recruitment, the big challenge for fast-growing companies. A famous quote on the startup ecosystem is hire fast, fire faster. Not sure if we should apply this quote, but what we need to keep in mind is to make wise but quick decisions when recruiting. And my recommendation to do this effectively will always be to put people into real situations and evaluate what they are capable of. And now let's conclude by reviewing the checklist for the growth stage. First, put in place analytics. Then define the product development process. Increase the quality assurance. Put in place continuous integration. Build scalable architecture and test it. And give value to your data and learn from it. So if, like Fabrice, you have specific questions for your project, just go ahead and ask on mycityofriend.co/ask. I will do my best to answer your question or to redirect you to existing content that will answer it. And also be sure to go through our other courses on mycityofriend.co to learn more from real startup growth experience. Waiting for your question, I'm looking forward to seeing you in other videos. Cheers.